Hello and welcome to another of the introductions to the all natural meanings discussed in Meaning in the Multiverse, a skeptic's guide to a loving cosmos. My name is Justin Harnish, and I am the author of Meaning in the Multiverse, and today we are on our sixth of 8 meanings from Meaning in the Multiverse. This one is the multiversal persuasion meaning. Meaning in the Multiverse has these 8 different meanings that are all metaphysical speculations. So what that means is that what we consider in metaphysics is where metaphysics is going to be beyond where the science is at now. So we would be looking maybe 500 years in the future as to where we believe these scientific explanations are going to be at that point in time. And what we are trying to do here isn't to circumnavigate the scientific method or go off in the ditch of some sort of new age concept of metaphysics, but really drive and to understand what possibilities are available for physics, philosophy, neuroscience, in the future, and how that might compel us to act in the here and now. And so this is again going to be metaphysics in the philosophical sense of the word. These all of these speculations are based in physics and philosophy, and so they are all natural metaphysical explanations. We are not going to be going into a supernatural realm of gods and goddesses in order to get our explanations and understand the nature of reality in anything but an all natural sense of it. We are going to be working through either universal or personal prevalent meanings. And so in the case of the persuasion algorithm, we are going to be talking about something that is part of the fabric of reality itself. So if you have a parallel process ontology like we're going to be discussing today, if that is your metaphysic, then it is possible that there would be a parallel processing algorithm running across all of these near parallel universes that might be optimizing and persuading those entities capable of either conscious or cognitive thought, and that might again motivate and optimize for greater states of flow or greater states of mindful experience in those entities. And so that would be something that would be universal, would be part of the fabric of the world, as opposed to personal meaning that is just prevalent across either a panpsychic or a parallel psychic set of minds. And so we'll discuss that distinction a little bit further on in this video. And then furthermore, we'll be talking about whether or not these meanings are inherently for the multiverse or from the multiverse in a conception from religion, whether these are works or grace meanings. And so again, in the case of the persuasion and optimization algorithm, it is doing this persuasion and optimization for its own purposes, for its own meaning, or in order to solve a problem that it can't solve with just purely physical means. And so in the case of the persuasion and optimization algorithm that we'll be talking about today, this is going to be largely a works meaning. Now we are going to get substantial meaning because we are essential and providing something to the multiverse that it can't provide for itself, but we are largely cogs in the machine. The persuasion and optimization algorithm meaning is going to come from an ontology, a metaphysic that is based in the fact that the universe, in this case, in this metaphysic, is fundamentally made of parallel processes. So these processes are not only running in this universe, but they are also running in near parallel universes to ours. Now, there is a great deal of scientific backing from the many worlds theory of quantum mechanics, as well as quantum computation and constructor theory, the latter two of which were developed by David Deutsch, who is a big proponent of Hugh Everett's many worlds theory of quantum mechanics and the multiverse, the parallel universe idea. Now, quantum computation goes right into the meaning that we're going to be talking about today. The fact that across many near parallel universes that are only separated by a few quantum distinctions and are fungible with our universe in their interference patterns, those universes, they function in the parallel process ontology at the fundamental level, a series of computations. Some of those processes, which we know, the Schrödinger equation, the wave function of quantum mechanics, and some of those which we're going to speculate on, the persuasion and optimization algorithms that run on this massively parallel quantum computer that we know as the multiverse. Let me just explain this slide from the fundamental. What you can see pointed at in A, so on every horizontal stripe, these are near parallel universes in the multiverse. So these are going to be fungible with one another. They are going to be able to, they're going to be just a few quantum distinctions different from one another, but still being able to interfere in the course of time, interfere in the course of entropy, and interfere in the course of what we're seeing here, represented by the gray gauges, interfere in the course of the different conscious aspects of an entity in existence in that near parallel universe. So the way that you can interpret this view graph is that as we go through our block universe and we are working through a different time course represented by a single near parallel universe going through and gaining entropy over the course of its continued banging out of history, what you're also going to see is some difference in the relative conscious aspect of an entity in any one of those near parallel universes. So this entity, again, could be you or I that is going through their experiential life in this manner. Now, what we can see at B in the upper right-hand corner is that there is some experiential difference between the point on the left, which has a lower conscious state, and the point on the right, which on average or relative to those less conscious or more unconscious or more mindless states on the far left, on the far right, you start to see some pegged out conscious states. And again, these conscious states can be thought of as either flow or transcendental sort of mindfulness when you peg out consciousness over on the far right. Now, the optimizing and persuasive algorithm that is driving us to those higher conscious states is doing that across near parallel universes. So we wouldn't expect to see all people become transcendent. We wouldn't expect to be transcendent all the time or progress over our lives in such a way as to optimize our consciousness. Since these things are running across a wide degree of near parallel universes, we would expect this to interfere much like the single particle dual slit experiment interferes in matter and in energy and in quantum fields in our relationship to the near parallel universes. So that is to say that we would not expect in a single particle dual slit experiment to have interference from what appears to be other particles. There are no other particles there. Those particles come from the parallel universes in the conception of the many worlds theories, that is what is interfering with the single particle dual slit experiment. In the same way, we are seeing interference of conscious states across these near parallel universes as we go up the stack at A. But what is possible in this multiversal conception is that another process is running in the background on these parallel universes and is persuading and optimizing us towards greater states of consciousness. Now, why might that be? Well, one of the reasons that we've already come up with as far as a meaning in the multiverse is to persuade us and to optimize our states of flow for a greater engineering of the world meaning. So we might be persuaded by this algorithm to maintain our species' knowledge and development of science for a far in the future development that the multiverse needs in order from our knowledge or the knowledge of other cognitive creatures like us to progress and advance and to solve a problem in those later states. It might also be persuading us towards greater states of well-being and consciousness because it can experience those states on its own. It is unconscious. And this is one of the things that I've even written about in around simulation theory, is that we may well be living in a simulation. Probabilistically, we are likely not the base universe, but that base universe may have no conscious creatures left in it. It might only be artificial intelligence that are creating these simulations because at some point in time from their ancestors, they were created by conscious creatures like us, and they are studying consciousness in that simulation, trying to understand sentience, and that is our meaning in that simulated multiverse. So a couple of great opportunities here to understand a parallel process like an optimization that happens on our classical computers to this day, but being run across this massively parallel quantum computer that we call the multiverse. So the definition from the text of the multiversal persuasion and optimizing algorithm is that either thanks to the graciousness of a superconscious multiverse, or in order to incentivize our efforts as an experiential or engineering subordinate, the multiverse persuades us with optimum states of experience. This optimization is run across near parallel universes. And also from the text for Meaning in the Multiverse, which is available now on Amazon or at justinaharnish.com. As part of a multiversal works project, optimization processes might be used to persuade the engineering eyes of the world to meaningful experience or to promote existence engineering in alignment with some meaningful path for the multiverse. As discussed in previous chapters, the multiverse might be experiencing through us for its own quest to meaning. The multiverse may also be using our knowledge and ability to construct complexity to engineer a dialectic project that requires a highly advanced intelligence. In either case, the parallel processing multiverse may utilize the optimization algorithm to incentivize progress along a path of greater well-being, which is persuasive of species continuation, necessary to advance knowledge or experiential heights, so that the multiverse can achieve its own manipulation or meaning. This sort of persuasion from existence is a highly benevolent and was one of the outcomes of Alfred North Whitehead's foundational work in process ontology, process and reality. Multiversal persuasion in the pursuit of its meaning, or dialectic, shows both the constraints of the laws of physics that keep us firmly rooted in natural solutions and the incentive that experiential well-being and societal shared meaning is for intellect and conscious entities. While Whitehead drew upon the baggage-laden name of God to recognize the parallel processing quantum computer most likely responsible for such loving persuasion, the recognition of what such magnanimity could produce is spot on. Quote, God makes available and draws us toward a range of possibilities that enable us to envision a world beyond the world already actualized. God's persuasive work in us enables us to perceive visions of truth, beauty, and goodness that inspire the metaphor of a spark of divinity within every person. By C. Robert Mesley. The read-write optimization abilities of the optimization algorithm running in a massively parallel process multiverse enables a universal natural meaning that could explain how purpose arises from the natural world. The optimization algorithm running as a machine learning optimization on the parallel process of consciousness, tweaking some underperforming subroutines and maintaining one of the many processes, is an extreme pragmatic form of a computational universe, meaning whose subtleties match what we observe. The addition of increases in meaning as a persuasion, either to incentivize our experience or engineering, is a logical continuation of the meaning introduced as first the eyes of the world and later added onto the engineering eyes of the world. If we are being utilized by the multiverse, either for our own consciousness or in the methodical alteration of existence by knowledge, this parallel computational process would likely use everything within its means to ensure our societal well-being to our deep descendants. Those things within its means are not the tools of the deities of old. Omnipotence is restricted by the laws of physics, but experiential persuasion is not. If we are being persuaded by an optimization algorithm, it is likely using both of the mechanisms of flowing with existence and mindful experience. Again, we can achieve those heightened states of consciousness that that it is persuading us towards, that it is trying to optimize for its own meaning, for the multiverse's own meaning, through both the use of flow, as is shown on the left, or through the use of mindful experience, which is shown on the right. And so again, what the multiverse is doing this for is unknown. It may be that it cannot consciously experience. It may be that it has a deeper problem to solve and it requires advanced species that have the ability to propagate knowledge and to create technologies from that knowledge and from those explanations of the natural world in order to solve something that it is up against, or as we'll discover later, it might be a grace project of a far parallel superconscious quantum computer. But what we have landed on with the multiversal persuasion and optimization algorithm is something that I thought was possible to land on as I started meeting in the multiverse, was that a process ontology offers the ability to have an optimization routine that is trying to optimize either our experience or our flowing with existence in order to heighten our well-being and to become very meaningful to the multiverse. And it's doing it for its own reasons, and it has its own motives that are compelling us to act and to do these things. It may be that we're in a simulation where advanced superintelligent AI is running the show, but needs us to consciously experience and to have sentience in order to really experience the profundity of all that nature has to offer. And so this again puts our conscious experience and our ability to create knowledge and design technology to utilize the scientific method at the forefront of our meaning in the multiverse. The meaning in the multiverse, like the persuasion and optimization algorithm running across near parallel universes and 7 other meanings in the multiverse, are described in Meaning in the Multiverse, A Skeptic's Guide to a Loving Cosmos, which is on sale now at any bookseller and on my website at justinaharnish.com/shop, where you can purchase this and my other books today. It is available today. And so I want to thank you very much for taking the time to understand our deeper universal meaning, and I'm committed to answering your questions. If you go on my site and contact me, or comment below, and we will further this discussion. But thank you so much for taking your time viewing this video and going to my site. Goodbye.